as you become stronger, you'll likely be able to take the stool down a little bit lower, right? So you can use these simple tools to help your alignment, right? So as we spoke about before, you want to make sure that you're getting quality out of your movement session because it's very easy. And when I'm saying movement practice or movement session, that's what most people are calling exercise. I like to reframe it as your movement practice or your movement session. So our goal here is to make sure that you're effective and efficient with your movement practice. So do you have your heart rate monitor on?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if you look at your heart, can you see what your heart rate is saying? I'm just going to check my heart rate. Let's see what mine is saying. And remember, you can also leave the voice prompt on. Right, so I can see my heart rate is currently at 40% of max. And if I swipe over once, I can see that represented as 71 beats per minute. So what's your heart rate saying? Do you have an extra device anywhere around you, a phone or iPad? Or a laptop?
It's in the other room.
That's okay. It's okay. In the future, if you could get an older phone or iPad to put it near you, it can be helpful to watch. It's actually very helpful to put your heart rate on the side. So at any point when you're moving, you can glance over and see what your heart rate is saying. So it's going to train your eye to see exactly how your heart and how your body is responding to the movement practice, right? So you can see like if your heart rate is going through the roof. So that way you don't necessarily have to switch between the screens. Right? On some of the newer phones also, you can swipe, and so you can see us off to the side, and you can see your heart rate monitor on the same screen with some of these iPhones. So I don't know if you're able to do that with your phone, but it's a good idea sometimes to have it off to the side so that you can see it. Right? Because it's really, really training. So now with the stool,
Yes.
so here's a shorter stool. I'm going to keep this nearby, right? And as we were talking about before, it can just help me with alignment. So a couple of things we're checking in to make sure we don't have an arched back. Our pelvis is tucked under. Your belly button is drawn in slightly. So I'm not sucking in my ribs, but your belly button is drawn in, right? So what that means is if I was to stand and put my hand on your back, I want you to imagine making your belly button touch your hand, right? So you're going to draw it in. If you keep drawing, and you're trying to make your belly button touch your hand, it's going to start to have a dull ache here. All right, so even if we have water retention and adipose tissue on top, everybody has core muscles, right? So we want to start to discover those core muscles. And I want you to think of it as like those old-fashioned corsets that have the string, right? If we're taking the string, we're drawing the string in, we really want to engage and turn on those core muscles so they're actually supporting your spine and your back. Especially for those of us that have a curvy, especially like our body type is very curvy. I can also have a tendency to have a shelf if I was to get bigger. You want to make sure that your pelvis and your back is in alignment. So your pelvic bone, when we spoke about that big 5-gallon white bucket of water, I don't want it spilling out the back and I don't want it spilling out the front, right? So I'm going to tuck my pelvis under, right? Belly button is drawn into the spine, right? Okay, good. So belly button is drawn into this. Can you feel that at all? So if you're standing there straight, put your hand on your back. One hand on your back. One hand is on your belly button in the front, and the other hand is on your back. So I want you to imagine, don't push, but draw your belly button in so it's touching your back. So this is, your core set is going to be engaged. So if you keep drawing, really try to put your belly button on your back. Can you feel that?
Yes.
Right. So even though you can't see it, it's a sensation. So a lot of times that's going to flip off, right? Because our awareness is just not there. So in between each movement or quote unquote exercise, I want you to constantly keep bringing your attention back to engaging your core. This is everything. This is the foundation of everything, is that your core is engaged and that you're also using your breath, right? If you are standing next to you, you should be able to hear your inhale and your exhale. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so that's one. Number two, our imaginary headlights on our, I want you to pick second toe, right next to your big toe. Second toe is pointed straight ahead. The ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders. These are all your imaginary headlights. So if we're driving on the road, they should be pointing straight ahead. If I need to do a movement that's lateral or out to the side, right? I don't want my headlight now to turn this way. I want to keep that headlight this way. a reason. Because if I turn that head like this way, and let's say I do a side lunge, all the force, the work, the load is gonna go into your knees. I don't want any work in your knees, right? If we did 10, 15, 50, 100, because we'll eventually work up to 200 squats. I don't want 200 squats and force going into your knee. I want it to go into your thighs, into your glutes, and also your core. So the alignment of your joints is going to stack up your muscles, your organs. You want alignment is super important. If you're doing yoga postures or asanas, alignment is key. So you keep the workload where it's supposed to be. Everything is stacked where it's supposed to be. A lot of times due to inactivity, instability, the knees are wobbling and are popping out of the socket, sitting down too much, the body is out of alignment. That's one of the ways that we're prone to injury. So we're setting up these markers, right? Our standards. Our standards before we start moving, headlights, ankles, knees, hips, shoulders pointed straight ahead. Belly button is joined in. Pelvis, I don't have the water pouring out the back of the bucket. I don't have the water pouring out of the front. It's right here. So I'm lining up my spine. There's a natural curve in the spine, but we don't want this exaggerated because that's actually shortening my lower back of my spine. That's pinching my spine is shortening. I'm going to have back pain in my squats. So I'm going to slightly tuck this under. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, these are our checkpoints. So next, our shoulders. Quite often they are elevated. We don't even notice, even a little bit. I want you to, only depression we want is shoulder depression. So I want a lot of distinct space between your ear and your shoulders. Also, the shoulders, due to being on the computers and everything being forward, we have like computer neck, right? We're rounded over. And if we're not working these muscles, over time we're going here, and we're not strengthening these muscles in that, eventually you won't be able to stand up, right? So, engage in the core, your core set. Your headlights are pointed straight ahead. I want you to take your shoulders and take them around, down, and back, right? So here your shoulder blades are your scapula. If I put my hand behind, you can see my scapula. My shoulder blade is popping out, right? I want you to think that shoulder blade, scapula, same thing, right? Shoulder girdle, that's all the same thing. I want you to think of rolling your shoulders around, down, and back, and setting your shoulders down on that shelf, the shelf of your bra strap, right? I want them down and back, right? So that's helping. This is a retraction, protraction. I want you to take them back. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times you're going to have a tendency to go right back here. So I want you to have a frame of reference for lining the body up. So I want a big space here. This being elevated is cutting off the flow of blood and your breathing, right? It can even cause headaches, tension headaches. So you want this around, down, and back. They're literally set back. Even if, let's say, if we were in a gym and we were doing a lat pull down, and here's the lat muscles, these back muscles that make like a cobra V shape. Most people, just right hand, we pull it down, but you actually want to set the shoulder blades down first, then elevate the arms. I don't want everything going back this way. You set the shoulders down, and then you're pulling down. So the alignment should be coming up in your whole movement practice, right? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
This is the part of the spine, the skull, the cervical, is part of your cervical spine, the skull. So this also has to be in alignment. It shouldn't be here. This right here is pinching my neck. My neck is shortened here. And I don't want to curl into the chest. It's nice. I have a long neck. This is part of my spine. My eyes are right here. Sometimes we go to table. Often when we go into tabletop position or plank positions, the head has a tendency to go here or here. But no matter what position we're in, we want to strive to keep this spine long. And where the eyes go, the skull is going to follow. So my vision is pointed straight ahead. If I was in a plank or tabletop position, my eyes would be cast downward, but I'm not going to let my head and my neck come out of alignment. I want it to stay nice and long, the whole spine. Right? Make sense?
Makes sense.
The next thing is your breath, right? Your inhale and your exhale. Now, quite often we don't realize that we're hyperventilating. We're breathing from the neck up. Very shallow, but the lungs are down here. So we want to just strive to just listen to the breath and try to synchronize and even out the breath, the inhale and the exhale. The exhale is kind of easier because when you're exerting yourself, working against gravity, you're just trying to exert. You're using the breath actually to get you through the movement. But the inhale, you want to make sure you're taking in sufficient oxygen. And because all this is in alignment and your diaphragm is here and your intestines are here, while you're doing the movement practice, you're giving yourself a nice little massage, right, of your organs. So usually because we want to knock our movement practice out ideally in the morning, it greatly helps your elimination with pushing out a lot of old waste. With our water, right, I measure everything. I want you to be conscientious of the size of your water. If it's 20 ounces, 16, 32 ounces. Because if you're sipping it during the movement practice, then likely you'll have a nice urine flow before you even go to work in the morning. So these are habits. You put them in place and you don't have to think about them. If you have several containers that you use a lot, I want you to actually take the measuring cup, a big measuring cup, and measure how much water it is. Take a piece of masking tape and a marker, which I keep in the kitchen, and you're going to mark if you're not aware of what the sizes are. All of this is training your eye for what you're doing, right? Whatever your weight is, because we do education and mindset coaching during our movement practice, whatever your weight is, I want you to divide that in half. That's at least how many ounces you should be getting of water a day. Most people say a gallon, but we're all different heights. But at least your body weight, divide that into half. That's at least how much water. And that's the drinking of the water. We're not even talking about the eating of the water, and we'll address that later. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So if I always have, I want to get it to the point with the flow. I'm not even really thinking so much. I'm using my laziness to my advantage. So I know this is probably like I think a 32 ounce or 800 milliliters. You know, in the States we use ounces. But I know this is stable. My mason jars, I'll send you a link for these. I put these lids on there, put a straw on it, and I put it right by the side. I'm not thinking about it. I'm lazy. As soon as I pass by the bathroom and I see this in the kitchen, I'm just going to pick it up and put it there. Not even thinking about it. So that's already one water. We knocked off so we can stay. I don't want you to gulp your water. I want you to sip the water. Okay. So the next thing, we're going to use our broomsticks, right? Our expensive, high-tech equipment. If you don't have a broomstick, that's fine. Sometimes people save broomsticks or they save an old broom, right? Well, you can get for hardly anything at the store. If you don't have the broomstick, that's fine. Though the broomstick is a really good tool to help you with alignment, and alignment keeps your joints safe, right? So with our stick, I want you to retract your shoulders. I'm going to start to get the body nice and warm. We do warm-ups around here, efficient warm-ups. And during our movement practice, our goal is to get cardio to strengthen the heart, right? Flexibility, right? To help us stay injury-free so we're not stiff. Mobility, which is connected to flexibility but a little bit different. That means my limbs and bones can travel full range of motion instead of being stuck here frozen in the shoulder, can travel full range of motion pain-free around the joint, right? This is also, remember, this is also mobility. Mobility. If we can't do that circular rotational movement in the joint, we're in trouble, right? Even the cervical spine, mobility, we don't want it stiff. So there's flexibility and mobility, cardio, and then there's strength. Strength training, that's how, if you want toned muscle, tone is a term that's used for women, but tone is still muscle. You cannot get toned muscles. Walking, that's great. That's activity. So we're burning more calories, right? But that's not strength training. It's not. Unless I was walking up a super steep hill, maybe my body weight initially, maybe adding like a big heavy knapsack on. But the walking is just more activity. It is not strength training. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. So what we're going to do is use our own body to get nice and warm. So I want you, huh?
I do have to say that I have a slight shoulder injury.
So that's why it's really important to warm up, because you want to lubricate the joints, right? There's something called synovial fluid. This, you could think of the Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz. So that's why now you see it's all going to come together. We do the whole picture. The water, how are you going to get some synovial fluid to lubricate the joints like oil for the Tin Man? If this is stiff and dry, there's no lubrication. It all adds up. That's why the habits all come together. So you definitely need to warm this up. So you're telling your body what I'm going to do. You're giving it an intro to what's coming. So it's not shocked, right? So you want to do a thorough warm-up. Most of the 15, 20-minute quick workouts, especially as we are more seasoned women are doing, I mostly see hardly anybody warm up. Not warming up is setting us up for injury. So you want to take the time to do a warm, but we're going to be efficient with our warm-up. So we want to warm up the shoulder joints, all the joints, the knees, the muscles, the tendons, ligaments, the whole body, and get your core temperature nice and warm, right? So what we're gonna do is, if you didn't have the stick, you would just use your arms, but the stick is gonna help you with your alignment. So the pelvis is tucked under, your arms are extended, right? Now your arms are straight. So this is gonna help you keep your arms straight from the shoulder, the elbow to the wrist. My wrists are also not broken, it's straight, right? I'm even gonna extend my fingertips out, right? So this is gonna help with my alignment. So now if you have been using this, it's likely gonna burn for a minute. I want my arm shoulder height a little bit above shoulder height. The arms can move, but I don't want them to drop down below shoulder height, right? So you're gonna extend it right here. From here, you're going to make sure your core is engaged. Level 1 is you're gonna lift your knees. Think of your knees coming up and into the chest. You wanna lift the knees nice and high. And you're breathing. So make sure also your feet are open a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So it's like a tripod. You have a nice base of support. This is a little more wobbly. There sometimes may do that, but in general, I want your feet hip distance, or a little, in this case, a little bit wider than hip distance apart, right? So you have a firm foundation, core is engaged. Arms are extended right here. So you can lift your knees up. Think of your knees coming up and into your chest. Your arms are nice and high. The arms can move, but try not to let them drop down below shoulder height. But your arms should be straight in front of you. Now, if the arms get tired, you can drop them down, but this is no bueno. It's like a straight pencil right here, right? So extend your arms straight out in front of you. Core is engaged. Good. So lift the right knee towards the chest and then the left knee. Take your time, and you can go slower. Yep. Try to straighten out those arms. It's going to burn a little bit. So is that a little challenging for your arms?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, so take a break. So, but I'd rather for you to do less reps. I'm not attached to how many reps you do, because over time you're going to build up muscular endurance. Just hold up the weight of your own arm, even without the stick, is a little bit of work. But the stick is going to make you be in alignment. Just like there's no bend in this stick, that's how I want your arms all the way to the wrist, from the elbow to the, shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, and the hand should be straight, right? So just take a moment, open your hands a little bit, widen your shoulders, and gently take your arms back, and then take the stick down to the front of your legs. Yep. Take it down to the front. Good. Open it up wide, feeling a stretch in your chest and your shoulders, and down. Take it forward. So this is what I would call active reps. Instead of coming to a complete stop, you want to keep the body nice and warm. So you should feel a stretch right here, right? You feel a stretch here? But don't let the elbows move. The elbows are straight. You feel a stretch in your chest?
Yes.
Open your hands a little bit wider, and whatever your fullest range of motion, however far you can travel, you want to take it there. So it goes to the front of the thighs, and then take it back. Get down, and then back. Good. Now, take the arms, shoulder height again. Go back to the alternate knees to the chest. Good. Elbows are totally straight, so bring it up. This is 1 and 1. Even if you have to go slower. 2 and 2. 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Good. And 5. Okay. So what you're going to do now, take your time. I don't care if you do less reps, right? You're going to the same thing. See if you can take your time, right? Even if the knee is slightly bent. You're just going to kick up and kick up. So let me see. So arms are straight. Yes.
Kick straight?
Yeah, if you can't, even if there's a slight bend. Even if there's a slight bend in your knee, that's okay. It doesn't have to be totally straight. Let's see.
My back is kind of hurting.
Okay, so then you go back. So no straight leg, knee bent. So you see, so that's an example of scale. Your body will adapt to the movement practice over time. So you can take any movement and make it more challenging, or you can make it a little easier, right? As you build up your strength, but deform on your arms, where the arm should be straight. Yes. So then it's alternate knees to the chest. So this would be 1, 1, 2, 2. So being that now the stick has given you an idea of where your arm should be, let's try it without the stick and see how it feels. Let's put the stick to the side, right? Arms extended, shoulder height. So notice my elbow is straight. Think of the knees coming up and into the chest, right? So take your time. This is 1 and 1. 2, 2, 3. Open the feet a little bit wider. 4, 5. Good. And 5. How does that feel? It's a little challenging?
Yes.
Okay, but that's okay.
It's just my lower back.
Right. So remember we were talking before about, I said like, because I remember my lower back used to be killing me, right? When I first started working out, because it's a lot of tightness and it's a lot of weakness. These muscles haven't been worked in a functional way. You're already sitting down, right? We sit down a lot of the day at work, yes?
Yes.
So that sitting down has made a lot of stuff. Remember we talked about the flex position? This has thrown a lot of stuff off. The core is not worked. All the stuff is not back. So when I first used to start training, my back would be hurting. It'd be so tight. So that's why I say your active rest, in this case, would be lifting knee. Think of the knee coming into the chest. So let's try also, let's take it back down a notch. Let's keep your arms relaxed at the side. Feet are open a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Think of bringing your knee into the chest, into the chest, into the chest. How does that feel?
Better.
Better? Okay, good. So I'm going to take the stick, right? You can find your sweet spot. And this can also help you be more comfortable when you're doing a movement practice on your own. Let's hold it on to one side. Same thing. So that's going to give you just a teeny bit of support. Bring the knee up and into the chest. See if you can get it up a little higher with that support. Yes. How does that feel?
Better.
Slow down, slow it down. So I want you to really think of engaging your core. It's not just going through the motions. We're not just marching. Your core is engaged here. So look at me. Think of it touching your chest. Knee touch. Yes, good. You're breathing. So you can be right there. You want to find the sweet spot, the scale that's for you. Yes?
Yes.
So that's going to be the modification for you. All right, so we're here for the journey. So with your stool or your little chair that's there, right? I'm going to hold the stick right in front of me. So the ankle, knee, hip, shoulder are pointed straight ahead. Your hips are going to reach backwards, right? So I'm not touching my alignment. My knees are not turning out of anywhere. My ankles, knees, and hips are pointed straight ahead. And then stand up. From here, go ahead, stand up.
I have to.
Can you hold it right in front of you, in the center? Can you hold the stick in front of you? With both hands and stand?
Okay.
Challenging a little?
Yes.
Okay. So it's fine if you want to use a stool, if you want to use a chair. Or sometimes they have even taller broomsticks. Whatever's going to make you comfortable. So this is, to me, this is all beautiful. Because you want to remember this when you look at from where you come, because it's going to change, right? There's several things happening, right? When you usually think of a squat, there's several things happening. There's several things that we're losing that we don't realize. One is balance. And these are the areas where we get, we're going to get injured. We're not going to get injured just going like this. We're going to get injured when you move through the 3 planes of motion, right? So little education, the 3 planes of motion. You think of that picture of Michelangelo that's here? The body can move in 3 planes of motion. If I cut your body in half, that's called the sagittal plane. That's traditionally in the gym what we do with movement. We do squats, we do presses. That's traditional movement in the gym, yes?
Yes.
However, if I put your body between 2 planes of glass flat, the body can move this way, right? Snow angels is how you can remember it. That's the frontal plane. Right? The frontal plane. It's whole muscles here. Your glutes, glute medius. You have whole groups of muscles. If they're not working, then somebody else is doing too much work. So if, let's say I had 200 muscles, but 75 of them aren't doing their work. That means I have imbalances. Somebody's being overworked. And also I'm not going to burn as many calories and I'm more prone to injury because those muscles are moving in different directions. So I want to move in functional training, which is my favorite, I want to move all the different ways the body can move. If you're not asking the body to move, then when you need it to move, it's not because you haven't been on speaking terms. So if you was to step down off that curb and a car comes by really quick and you haven't trained it to move in different directions, you're likely going to be startled. That's usually we get an injury or slip or fall, right? So we have sagittal plane. We have frontal plane. There's a whole muscle group there. Also my obliques, all that stuff is being worked when I'm moving in these different directions. Now we have, that's 2. That's sagittal, cutting you to left and right. That's frontal, our snow angels. And now we have transverse. Transverse would be rotational movement, right? My trunk, my body, lower body stands still, but my trunk, my torso is rotated. So take a minute and rotate. I want you to notice if you feel any kind of tightness in your back. Belly button is still drawn, and you feel any tightness in your lower back?
A little bit.
Okay. Good. So with rotational movement, if we think of golfers, right? If we were in the watermelon patch and we got a whole train of us, we're pulling the watermelons, we got to pick them up and put them up there. You know, shot puts. That's rotational movement. In real life, that's likely we're going to get injured when we're going through all the different planes of motion at one time. Right? That's real life movement. That's functional. You are not born inside of a machine. Right? So if I do functional movement, that's preparing me for all the different things I need to be able to do 60, 70, 80. Right? Getting off the floor and up on the floor. I need all the muscles to do their job. I need to be able to move backwards, sideways. If you look at different types of athletes, they're training in different directions, multi-directional movement. Plus, that is also training your brain to make different decisions. These different things are shutting down because we're sitting and going like this. It's changing the whole body, the brain, and everything. Does that make the principle of it? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Right. So we are going to learn to move in different directions, and we're also going to work on balance. Balance is important because, again, if we look at the ankle, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder, a lot of times when people's joints are popping out of the socket and it's all wobbly when you do the squats, it's because we haven't trained for balance. An extreme example would be if I'm walking on the tightrope, right? And I have to balance. So if I'm in the park and I'm walking on top of the rails, right? But we're going to scale it back for us. So let's say, for example, if you grab your stick, and we're going to do a balance movement. So what the balance is going to do is going to turn on a lot of the sleepy muscles, especially in the rear chain. This is a chain of muscles, not just one or two muscles. It's a chain. I want everything in the chain to turn on. So I'm going to develop balance. It's going to feel shaky, but that's how I'm going to develop more balance. I'm going to get better at the skill of like tightrope walking. And I'm also going to activate or turn on your ankles, your calves, your hamstrings in the back of the leg, and your glutes, which is also on top of that is your back. The whole thing is a chain of muscles. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You can either hold on to the chair or you can hold on to the stick, right? Open your feet so you have a wider base support. You have a stable base support. I'm going to hinge or lean forward. So first your core has to be activated, right? I'm going to break it down. I'm going to lean forward and I'm going to take my other foot back here. I'm going to see if I can bring this hand down to touch my knee, and I'm going to stand up. Right? So I'm here, I'm going to hinge forward, and then I'm going to stand up, right? I'll show you from this side. Right? I have support here. I'm going to hinge or lean forward, core is engaged, step that foot back, and then come up. So we're going to start right there. Let me see. So open your feet wider, so you have a wider base of support. So all I want you to do is step back. So if you have it in your right hand,
yes.
The stick is in your right hand, so I'll switch it to my right hand. I may be mirroring you on the screen. So I'm going to step back with the left foot and just stand up. So when I lean forward, I'm going to feel a stretch in the back of my hamstring and my glute muscle. And then I'm going to stand up. Right? Put your other hand on your hip. Yes. Hinge forward. Good. And stand up. Any pain?
No.
Good. See if you can step that foot. So I want you to think of where I'm going to stick our back foot in the water to test the water temperature. So you're going to hinge forward, test the water temperature, see if it's cold, and then stand up.
Okay.
Yep, do it again. I see a cat there. So I see something that you're doing. So it's not, so there's a difference, a big distinction. This is good. This is a closed hip when I do a squat. A deadlift or a hip hinge or a kettlebell swing is this. Look at the difference. I'm going over, I'm exaggerating and standing up, as opposed to here and coming. So you just started to do like a reverse lunge. You just step back to do this. But that's different than this. Can you see the difference?
So you want me to lean over more.
Lean over would be your hip hinge, and that comes up in several different movements that we're going to do. So I want to lean forward. So open your feet wide,
Okay.
lean forward, so until you feel that stretch in the back of your leg, and then stand up. Good again. Right? So you're compensating a little bit here. So what I want you to do with that hand that's tucking your hip, see if you can take it out to the side a little bit. That's going to make you engage your core more. Lean forward and then stand up. Yes, that's better. You feel the difference? Okay.
Yes.
So now what I want you to do is I want you to lean forward a little bit more hip hinge. I want you to feel more of that stretch in your hamstring and your glute. So I want you to take, let's see if we balance it out. Take your opposite hand and touch it down to the outside of your knee and then stand up. So opposite hand, when you hinge forward, is going to touch the outside of your knee and then stand up. Good. So take that hand. Yeah. So touch the opposite on a diagonal. Bring it to the outside of the knee.
Right.
Yes, but to not here, to the outside of the knee that's stepping back. So the foot that's there. Let's see if I switch. I think you switch your hands. Switch your hands with that stick. Yes.
Okay.
Which hand do you have it in?
I have it in the left hand now.
Okay, so if you have it in your left hand, you're going to hinge forward. You're touching to the outside of the standing leg.
So like.
Yes. Yes. But don't just step, but you're stepping back more. You want to lean forward and then come up. Yes. Let me see. Yes. But better, but you still have a little bit more. So slow down. Open your feet a little wider. Yes. Good. Engage your core more and more of a hinge. Like imagine the food is on, your meal is on the table. You don't want the food to slide off. So slowly lean forward and then stand up. Yes, so you're taking that leg back. Don't forget, take the leg back. So that's better. So you're going to hinge forward, reach that leg back, and then stand up. Good, take your time, hinge forward, but slow down and come up. Okay, so we're going to tweak it a little bit more step by step. This time when you lean forward, this leg is going to hover above the floor and then stand up. So hinge forward. So basically, I'm going to show you from the back. When I was hinging forward, my toe is touching the floor, right? And they're going to come up. Now, instead, I'm not going to touch the toe to the floor. I'm just going to reach it back and then stand up.
My balance is not.
That's okay.
Yeah, I can't.
Okay, so keep it on the floor. You keep it on the floor. And I see one thing that you're doing to compensate, you're taking a curtsy, which we don't want. So you're taking a curtsy. You're taking that foot to a curtsy. We don't want a curtsy. That's why you want to distinctly open the 2 feet up. This is like you don't have as much of a base of support. You need the feet open wider. Yes, now you have your more steady base. So you keep the toe on the floor. But I want you to reach, as you hinge forward, reach that foot back more. And then stand up. Yep, and then stand. Good again. When you reach forward, can you feel any kind of a stretch in the back of your leg?
The one that's going back?
The standing leg. The standing leg.
Standing leg?
Yes. So this one is just reaching back. You're not going to feel a stretch here. But when you lean forward and you stand up, this leg is getting a stretch when I lean forward. See here, I'm getting a stretch. My glutes are reaching for the back wall. And then I'm going to stand.
I don't really feel.
That's okay. That's okay. So we're going to switch sides. Go to the other side. Let's see what the other side is saying.
Okay.
All right? So you're going to take your time. So reset your core. Engage your core set. Right? You have support. You're going to hinge or lean forward. Right? And then stand. Now, what you can also do, let's say, usually have in front of you, give you a marker so you can feel, I don't want you to reach all the way down to the floor if you feel too shaky. So I have this, you can see I have the short stool in front of me. Can you see that?
Okay.
So now I'm going to use this as a little bit more support. I'm going to lean forward, I'm going to touch, and then come up. I'm going to touch the stool.
Okay.
So you have a little more. Does that feel a little more steady? Open your feet a little bit wider so you're touching down. Lean forward. That's better. And place that hand, instead of being on your fingertips, place the hand flat. Yes. And so the thing I want you to work on is really lean forward and then stand. Your foot that's on the ground, that foot is flat. Your feet are bare. You are barefoot, yes?
Yes.
So I want you to think of really spreading your toes on that foot that's on the ground. So you can feel yourself pushing through your heels on that grounded foot. That's going to help you activate more of the muscles in the back of your leg. So again, I'm going to hinge forward. I'm pushing through my heel, through my foot, and then I'm going to stand up. Push through your heels as you stand. Yep, and stand up. Yep, and then stand up. Good. So we'll take 5. So this is 5. Good. And stand. 4. Yep, try to place that hand flat. 3, better. 2. Not here. So if you think of the reason why, everything is going to make sense. This, let's say if you were unstable, you want to like twist your fingers. So even your hand going down, it's going to give you a firmer base of support. Right? Yes. So I don't want to be here. We're not doing like finger push-ups or anything. Yes. And you're pushing through your heel. Your hand is just as a slight assistance to help you balance. But the work is coming through your foot and through your heel. Yep. So hinge forward. Give me 2 more. 2. Good. And stand, driving through your heel. Good. And 1. Good. How does that feel? Any pain in your knees?
No pain in my knees.
Okay. Good. Next movement. My feet are open a little bit wider than my hips. I want to make sure my pelvis is tucked under. You can hold on to the stick. I'm going to sit down, reach your hips back, and then come up. If you need to place the stick right here in front of you, you can do that. So the thing is to make sure that your hips are reaching backwards so that your thighs and your glutes are coming parallel to the floor, and you're coming up. So turn the stick this way so you can balance. So you put it on the floor for a second. Yep. Sit. Reach your hips backwards. Make sure that you're driving through your heels. So I want you to lift your toes a little bit. And so you can drive through your heels. Good. And stand. Use your breath. Use your breath. So even if you're taller than me, so even if you open your feet wider, you want to make sure your knees are not going out to the side. You want to keep that alignment. Right? And your core is actually also working on your squat. So over time, your awareness is going to build. This being nice and stable is also assisting you as you sit and as you stand. So this should still be engaged. Reach your hips back and sit. Reach your butt back. Yes, that's better. Drive through your heels and stand. Yes, that's better. How does that feel?
It feels okay. I'm getting used to it.
Do you have any pain?
I really need to work on. I don't have any pain.
That's the most important thing. I don't care how slow you go, because your body. That's what you're gonna remember these times, because you're gonna get stronger. But initially, your body's gonna develop stability because you're asking it to do something every time you come back and you're consistent with your movement practice. Your body's gonna become adapted to what you're doing, right? And you'll become more steady. So slow and steady wins the race. We want quality movement. So you're reaching your hips back. Good, and stand. Now, when you stand, I want you to stand straight up. So when you stand straight up, your hip joint is open. If you put your finger in your hip joint, if you can feel any kind of bend there, that's not a fully open hip. I want this hip extended or fully open when you stand. So not too much, but like you add a little bit of hot pepper, just squeeze your glutes a little bit at the top of the movement. That's also helping you to engage your core, right? So reach your hips back. Good, and stand. Squeeze your glutes at the top of the movement. Good, let's take 10. So this is 10. Good, stand it up. Use your breath. 9. 8, go at your own tempo, even if you do less. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Good, one more. And 1, stand all the way up, squeeze your glutes. How does that feel?
It's a challenge, but it's good.
Okay, so this means we need to really build up your muscular endurance, right? That means your muscles' ability to work. But we first have to also work on your balance, right? All right, so I'm going to try a little something different. Sit it down. So my hands are on the stick, palms facing the floor. I want you to, so what you're going to do is, you're going to stand. As you sit, your arms are going to come straight up here.
Okay.
Right, so stand. As you sit, your arms are going to be in alignment with your ears. So sit it back, so stand. So come to a standing position. As you sit, front arm raise. Yes, nice. So think of your arms like two pointy pencils, belly button is drawn in. Good. Palms come down to the front of your thighs as you stand. Good. Stand all the way up so you open up the hip joint. Pelvis is tucked under. Sit, front arm raise. You okay?
Yes.
Take your time and stand. Yes, good. Try to keep that elbow straight so we can have 9 reps. So this is 9, 8, use your breath, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, yes, elbow straight, and 1. Good, how does that feel?
It feels okay.
A little challenging, just a little bit? That's okay. All right, next movement. Feet are open, a little bit wider than hip distance apart. So you can either, if you don't have the stick, you would lace your hands behind your head. So I'm going to adjust my pelvis, right? I want you to keep the elbows open. Your legs are open nice and wide. You're going to give me a flat back. So I want you to think of putting your hips and glutes on the wall behind you, right? So you have that same hip hinge, this would be like called also a good morning, but the same movement pattern, you're using it in several different exercises. So it's a movement pattern. We want to be able to go down and come up forever, right? So we have to train. Lace the fingers, keep the elbows open. Put your hips and glutes on the wall behind you. Feel that big stretch in the back of your hamstrings. Good, and stand. Yep, keep the elbows nice and open. So think of putting your hips and glutes on the wall behind you. Open your elbows, and stand. So your elbows here, I want you to exaggerate opening up the elbows, right? Put your butt on the wall behind you, and stand. Good, again. Listening to your breath. Yes, good, and stand. Do you feel a stretch there in the back of your hamstrings? So your hamstrings are right here. Hamstrings, glutes, in the back of your legs.
I feel slightly, yeah.
Okay, good. So I want you to exaggerate. So the way I would exaggerate, if I put my hips or glutes, if I stand in front of a wall, to give yourself a frame of reference, and I open up the elbows, and I have a flat back, I don't want any kind of rounding of my back, and I reach my hips and glutes back to touch the wall, that I exaggerate the stretch. I feel it even more. So if you had something that you would stand in front of, like a wall, right? You have a wall you can stand in front of?
I guess, yeah.
Or even a wall, a chair, or something, right? You're going to stand in front of it, lace the fingertips, hinge forward at the hips, your feet are open wide. I want you to think of your hips and glutes touching it behind you. You're going to feel a tremendous stretch in the back of your hamstrings and your glutes, right? So lace the fingers behind the head, open the elbows, right? Lean forward with a flat back, and think of putting your butt back on that chair or back on the wall. Yes, good. You feel more stretch there?
Yes.
And stand. Good. So take 9 more of those, listening to your breath the whole time, right? Belly button's in. Let hinge forward. So this will be 9. Good. And come up. Good. So you have 8. Really open the feet wide. 7. Put your butt on that back wall. 6. Stand it straight up. Good. 5, and you're squeezing your glutes at the top of the movement so the hip opens. Good. 5 more. 5. Good. Nice. 4. Exhale as you come up, synchronizing your breath. 3. Good. Coming up. Keep those elbows open. And 2. Stand straight up. Good. And 1. Good. And then come up. Good. Take a moment. Lift your knees to the chest. How do you feel? You okay?
I'm okay.
Next movement. So I'm going to start with my feet hip distance apart. They're not touching, but they're hip distance apart. I'm going to step out towards my right side. And I'm going to touch the opposite hand down to the floor. Touch it down, and then come up.
Okay.
All right, so re-engage your core. Step out to the side. Reach your hips and butt back. Touch the opposite hand down to the floor. Good, and then come up. Good, same side. This is 2. Good. 3. 4. Yes, nice. And 5. Good. So, something a little tweak over time. I think you might be tight or weak there. You're coming more from here. So, in this position, I want you to think of your hips and thighs going back, and your hips and thighs are going parallel to the floor, right? So, this would be like my thighs and hips and glutes going parallel to the floor, more in a squat, right? So, I'm reaching out to the side. Whatever your range of motion, as long as you're pain-free. If you feel any kind of pain, you stop, right? So, try to get your hips and glutes. So, we're going to take the other side, right? But think of your thighs stepping out, going parallel to the floor, as far down as you can go, pain-free, right? So engage your core set, stepping out to the side, touch it down, and then come up and back in. Good. Same side. This is 2. Good. 3. 4. And 5. How does that feel?
It feels okay.
Okay. We're going to tweak.
I gotta get used to it.
It's okay. Just take your time. Make sure you're breathing. So we're going to take it up just a little bit. We're going to alternate sides, right? Starting to move in alternate directions. I'm stepping out to one side, touch it down. Out to the other side, touch it down. So we're going to take 5 on each side, right? Engage your core set. Make sure you can hear your inhale and your exhale. Out to the side, touch it down. Come up. Opposite side, touch it down. And come up. Yes, good. So this is 2. And 2. 3. And 3. 4. And 4. 5. And 5. 6. And 6. Good, and rest. How does that feel?
It's challenging.
Okay, so this is where it's good to have your heart rate monitor right there so you can see what your heart is doing. So, do you have a little basketball or a piece of fabric, something you can turn into like a little ball or something that's around near you?
How big a ball?
Some kind of a ball. It doesn't have to be heavy, like a light ball or like a little knapsack or something that you can ball up into a ball.
I can find something. I should.
So I use a lot of balls.
You know what? Can I just roll this towel up?
That's fine. You tie it in a knot and make a little ball. All right, so I'm going to sit on my stool, my little stool. So my legs are at a perfect 90-degree angle, right? My ankles to my knees, and then my knees to my hips, 90 degrees. So what you're going to do is hold that towel right here. Your elbows are in and your fingertips are pointed straight up. All I want you to do, right, so make sure your feet are nice and wide, but your ankles, knees, and hips are pointed straight ahead. I want you to stand up, and I want you to toss it up and then sit.
Okay.
So keep the elbows in. Fingertips point up so that towel's right in front of your chest. Yeah. So fingertips got to point up. So I want you to get like a little basketball or some of those balls in a discount. So basketball is fine. So you're going to just stand up and toss it. First of all, before you toss it, stand up and press it straight up. Stand and press it straight up. Stand and press it. Press it. Yes. Your elbow's going to be right here. Bring them in more. And bring them in. And sit. Yes. Good. Exhale. Stand and press it up. Yes. Beautiful. And then sit it down. Good. So we're going to take it right there. Any exercise, we can scale it up or scale it down. So I'm using my fingertips, my grip strength, my elbows in. They're not flaring out to the side. Stand and press it straight up. Elbows in and press it in. Good. And sit. Stand and exhale. Press the arms straight. Yes. Good. And lower down. Good. 4 more. Stand and press it straight. Good. And lower down. Stand and press. Good. And lower down. Keep the arm. So I see some, you have a little compensation. When you bring it down, you drop it here. Keep those fingertips straight up. It's pressing straight up, then coming right back here. So stand and press it up. Elbows in. Press it straight up. Yep. And then hands come in front of your chest as you lower down. Yes. It's keep it right there. Don't move. Yes. Good. Stand and press. Stand and press. Exhale up. Yes. Good. And relax. Whew. So, how do you feel?
Wounded.
You feel yourself moving, working a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
The body's starting to get nice and warm. So we're going to stand for a minute. Let's just warm up your head and neck for a little bit, right? So all the different joints. So you're going to stand up, your feet are open a little bit wide, the hip distance apart. Just gently, with smooth foot movements, tick-tock your head from side to side, nice and easy. Just stand and tick-tock your head from side to side. Still listening to your breath. Good. You're going to take your time, look over opposite shoulders. Good. You're going to curl the chin into the chest and look backwards. Yep. Forward and back. Good. Taking your time, nice and slow. Gentle head circles to your right. Gentle head circles, really soft and easy. Gentle head circles to your right. Good. Opposite direction. Gentle head circles to your left. If you need to hold on to the stick, then you hold on to the stick. Good. And pause. Make sure you're not dizzy. Shoulder rolls. Warming up your neck and your trapezius muscles. Big shoulder rolls. See if you can get your shoulders up towards your ears. Big shoulder rolls back. Yes. Good. Long arms. Big shoulder rolls back. Trying to get this opposite direction. Big shoulder rolls forward. Good. Taking your time. Arm circles forward. So core still engaged. Arm circles forward. But you see how you have your elbow bent? As long as it's pain-free, I want a long arm. So this would be a bent arm. I want a long arm. Yes. Arm circles forward. Still listening to your breath. Take those arm circles to the rear. Opposite direction. Warming up your shoulders. Yeah, warming it up. Good. Pause. So, also this is an area that's a common injury, right? So you have issues with your shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to make sure we're mobile. There's mobility. Remember we talked about the limbs traveling a full range of motion around the joint, and then there's flexibility, right? It's nice and flexible. So we need to restore the mobility. So again, we need that you're drinking water, and you want to make sure that you're moving so you can lubricate the joint so it's not stiff. And also tell the body I'm going to start to move you. So I already did the shoulder rolls, the arm circles. You're going to bring your arms 90 degrees, right? Full 90 degrees. So between the two flat planes of glass. So not here. You're literally between two flat planes of glass. Yes, 90 degrees. So I want you to bring your palms and your arms together. Elbows touch, palms touch. Squeeze them together. And then open wide. Yes, good. And press. Elbows and the palms and fingertips and thumbs. And then open. So press and then open. Press and then open. Elbows have to touch, but keep them up and open. And probably need a little tight. Press. Yes, and open. Nice. Press and open. Two more. Press, open, press, and open. How does that feel?
Tight.
Okay, so next movement, right? Arms out to the side, palms down. Fully extended out to the side.
Yeah.
Are you able to lift your arm shoulder height?
I'm trying. This one is really...
Okay, but this is, see, again, now if you're sitting in a machine, you would not be able to see all of this. This is one of the beautiful things about functional movement. It allows you to see where your body is. So I want it shoulder height, right? And I'm moving from the shoulder, right? So what I'm going to do, if you need to take a rest, you take a rest, right? So I'm turning my thumb, so my thumb is pointing all the way behind me. And I'm going to rotate it the other way. So now the pinky is facing behind me. So I'm going to turn it down and then turn it down. So arms there. Good. So turn the thumb all the way down. And then only from the shoulder joint and turn the pinky in back of you. Right? Shake it out once it gets tired. Yeah, and then come back. So again, arms extended shoulder height. Turn that thumb all the way behind you. And then turn the pinky all the way behind. So you can get 5. So this is 4. And rotate. 3. And rotate. 2. And rotate. Good. And 1. Good. Shake it out. So is it toasty? Is it kind of burning there a little bit?
Yes.
Rotator cuffs, right? Teeny tiny muscles. So you're 90 degrees again, right? So I'm not moving so much from the wrist. I'm moving from the shoulder. Turn everything down gently. So 90 degrees, turn it down. And then now turn it so that everything goes behind you. But take your time. So try to stay at 90 degrees. So turn it down so you can get 5. 4. Turn it back. 3. Turn it back. 2. Turn it back. And 1. Good. And shake it out. Palms together. Elbows together. Pelvis is still engaged. Try to keep it. Press the elbows together too. Palms and elbows. That's okay. Yeah. Exhale. Keep everything together till you can't keep it together anymore. Press it up. Squeeze it and get a stretch across the front of your shoulders. And then bring it down. Good. And press it up. Press, press, press. Good. 3 more. And press it up for 3. Try to keep those elbows together. 2. Good. Elbows together. And 1. Keep them together. Good. And 1. How does that feel?
It's okay.
Okay. Good. So you're going to work on your balance. If you need to hold on to the stick, you can hold on to the stick. All right. So I have it in my left hand. My left hand in this case is going to be the standing leg. I want you to pick up that right leg. And I want you to think of you stirring a pot of soup to the outside. You're stirring some gumbo to the outside. So hold on to the stick for a little bit of balance. Even if it's a little hot, if it's just barely off the floor. And I want you to stir a pot of soup with that right leg.
I can hold on to the wall.
You can hold on to the wall. The wall is fine. You can hold on to the wall. Yeah, it's perfectly okay. You're going to pick that leg up, and you're going to stir that pot of soup to the out. Yes, nice. Stir it, lubricate that knee joint. Now, stir the soup the opposite direction. Also, your hip flexors in the front of your thigh are going to be working. Good. Relax your leg for a second. It's probably burning. All right. This time, and also the standing leg, you're also working on balance, right? So this time, you're going to pick the leg up, and you're going to externally rotate. Make circles to the outside with your wrist and your ankle. Good, and you're going to reverse it the opposite direction. Good, and sit it down, shake it out. Good, can you also feel your thigh working there?
Yes.
Switch sides, right? So these are things people would skip over, but it's important to address the the balance and also your joints and balance, right? So you're gonna pick the leg up and you're gonna stir the pot of soup to the outside, lubricating the knee joint. Good. Opposite direction. Stir that soup to the inside. Good. Rest the leg for a moment. Good. Pick that leg back up. Externally rotate to the outside, the wrist and the ankle. Good. And the inside. Good. And shake it out. So you can use the stick for balance. I'm going to step forward with my right leg and reach my hips back. So I'm going to step forward. I'm landing on my heel. I'm going to feel a big stretch in the back of the leg. Reach your butt towards the back wall. Good. And stand. Reach your hip back. Good. And stand. Let me see. So, yeah. So that right foot is a little bit more forward. Right? If I reach my hips back, I feel a big stretch in the back of my hamstring, the back of my leg. Good. And stand. If you're able to, you can bring the foot back and stand up. Right? So forward. It's sometimes helpful also to reach your fingertips down in the direction of the floor. Reach it forward. So to make it activate to stretch, your hips have to reach backwards. Good. And stand. Yep. And stand. Two more. Two. Do you feel the stretch in the back of your leg?
Yes.
Good. And switch sides. Right? So, hinge forward, lean forward at your hips. If you want to put your hand on your hip, you can do that too. Just fine when you feel comfortable. The main thing is to feel that stretch in the back of the leg. So, lean forward. If you can, stand straight back up. Forward and back. If that's too much for you, you can just lean forward and stand up. If you're able to, though, step right back to center. Take your time, go nice and slow. 3. Stand it up. 2. Stand it up. Good. And 1. Good. And stand it up. Good. With the good mornings we did before, when you had your hands laced behind your head, a variation on that, because it's a very important movement. So I'm going to put the stick behind me. I'm never putting the stick on my neck or my spine. Never, never, never. I have it behind my shoulders. Right? It's not on the back of my neck or my spine. I have it on the back of my shoulders. Right? So from there, you're going to do the same thing. Your feet are open wider than hip distance. Reach your hips and glutes back. Good. And stand. Yeah. So hinge forward. Yeah. Open your feet a little bit wider. Open your feet a little bit wider. Yes. Your core muscles are engaged. Over. Right? So does that make you feel a little more steady than your hands behind the head?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. This is a really handy little tool, inexpensive broomstick. How you feel? Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 more things. Right? So we're going to take that stand and press up. Right? And we're going to superset it. So superset will be 2 different exercises, 2 different movements done back to back. But we're going to take our time. You can go nice and slow. Right? So we have number 1. You're going to step out to the side. Touch it down. Here. Out to the side. So left and right, I'm going to count it as 1 repetition. Yes?
Okay.
Right? Then we're going to sit our hips and glutes on the stool. And then stand and press. Arms go straight at the top. Try to keep your pelvis tucked under. Right? Ready? Yes?
Okay.
Engage your core. All right. So stepping out to one side. Touch it down. This is 1 and 1. Good. 2 and 2. Step it wide. 3 and 3. 4 and 4. 5 and 5. 5 more. 5. 5. 3. 4.
Okay.
That's okay. Rest if you need to.
Okay.
Ready? 4. Good. Nice. 4. 3. 3. 2. 2. 1. Good. And 1. Whew, that should feel like a little bit of work, yes?
Yes.
Good. You can have a seat if you want to on your little stool. grab that towel, whatever you had. You're going to stand and press. So actually, as you're pressing, in order for you to keep your spine upright, you're actually engaging your core. So most of the time we're thinking of abs, right? We're just thinking of how we want it to look. But the core is keeping you stable while you're pressing, picking, pulling. So you're actually using your core. So you want to try to get those arms straight at the top, right? So make sure you have enough space between your feet and your ankles, knees, and hips are pointed straight ahead. Stand and press.
Okay.
Elbows in. Stand and press. Exhale up. Yes. Good. Nice. Good. And sit it down. Yeah. So the only thing is when you sit down, try not to take the ball back down. Try to press it and then bring it down right here. Right? Here we go. Stand and press. Good. And lower down. Nice. Good. Exhale up. Stand and press. Yes. Exhale as you exert yourself. Inhale on the way down. Stand and press. Good. And lower down. Good. 7 more. Stand and press. 7. Lower down. 6. Lower down. 5. Lower down. 3. Lower down. 2. Lower down. And 1. And lower down. Whew, how does that feel?
Oh, we're very windy.
You feel yourself working?
Yes.
Okay, then take our time. Baby steps. This is beautiful. This is why consistency is key. Because there's so much opening for the body to do. There's so much rewiring and waking the body up so that you have good form, so that you can feel confident while you're moving on your own. Take a little more. So we're going to come down to the mat. So if you need to, take an extra old yoga mat or garden pad if you need to, or extra towel, and a little cushioning if you need more cushioning for your knees, if your patella or your kneecap is very sensitive. So I'm on the floor in tabletop position, right? Tabletop position. So a couple of things. I want to make sure that I'm spreading my fingertips nice and wide, my palms. I'm splaying my hands out. I'm going to make sure that I'm pressing from my thumb, my index finger, my pinky, my whole palm is actively pressed into the floor. I'm not sinking down into my shoulders. And my joints, my wrists, my elbows, and my shoulders should be stacked on top of each other. So take your time, no rush. Tabletop position. So in tabletop position, my joints are stacked. Wrists, you okay? Okay. So my wrists, elbow, and shoulder, they're stacked on top of each other. The head should not be bobbing up and down. Now we talked about that. So your chin is slightly drawn, so your neck is long in the back, and your skull is in line with the rest of your spine. You should not have any kind of arch in your back. So again, even though we're face down, you want to make sure that you're tucking your pelvis under. The bowl of your pelvis is tucked under. Your knees should be right underneath your hips, right? Make sure you're not sinking your shoulders down because it's going to compromise your neck. So you're pressing your hands into the floor. Drag your shoulders back, down and away from the ears. Right? Your elbows are slightly angled backwards. Fourth set. Right? How do you feel? You okay?
I don't think I will be able to do this one.
So you probably, are you challenged holding up your body weight?
I'm sorry, you broke up.
I said, does it feel challenging to hold up the weight of your body?
I have to get used to being on my knees.
Okay. Do your knees feel like they're in pain?
You know that they're both fake. So.
Okay, that's okay. There's no rush. Take your time because we're not used to it. We're just slowly building back up like rehab. The ability to go down and get up. The body's like, what the heck is she doing? Right? So there is no rush, no pressure. Just this. Because this is actually work just to hold up the weight of your body, right? Straight and to keep because we want to just sink. The body's always going to take the easy way out. It's going to try to compensate, right? It doesn't want to work. So just here, holding up the weight of your body can be a lot, right? So from this position, we're going to just try to hold it for 5 seconds. You're going to pick up the right leg and just extend it like that, and then put the knee down. right, on the right leg. Were you able to see that?
I saw that, yes.
Are you able to do that or no? Because we can swap it for something else.
That is not gonna, I can't see you doing it. I don't know.
Okay, so, can you see me now? Is that better?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're breaking up with me.
So I'm saying from the tabletop position, you're just gonna pick the right knee up and extend it back and then put it down. Right? You're gonna pick the right leg up and extend it. If you can't, then we can swap it for something else. Right? So your right knee you're gonna pick it up and just extend the leg back and bring it down. So let me point the camera down a little bit so I feel like, is that better?
As far as what?
Yeah, can you see me a little better?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if I'm in tabletop position, I'm gonna just pick the right leg up and just extend it back and then put it down. I'm extending the leg straight and then put it down. Are you able to do that, or is that one too challenging?
I can't even get on my knees.
Okay. Are you able to lay on your back?
I can lay on my back.
All right, let's take it from there. We can scale any exercise. So, more ways to catch a cat. I don't know, does that even make sense, that saying? So you're going to lay on your back. From here, you should not have a big arch in your back.
Right.
Your palms are down. From here, you're still going to engage your corset. So you want to think of them weaving, the strings of the corset you're pulling together in the center so that your ribs are stacked over your hips, right? Your hands are palms down, right? So your palms are right outside your heels. You're going to inhale, exhale, press your feet into the floor, and push your hips up to the ceiling, right? So you may even feel some tightness here. You're going to press your hips up and then lower the hips down. Are you able to do that?
I can.
Okay, fantastic. Right, because we can do a lot of work right here. All right, so you get inhale, you get an exhale, and always as you're moving against gravity when you're doing the most, when you have the most exertion in the exercise, right? So inhale and exhale, press up. So this is 1, exhale up, 2, 3, 4, press it up, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, should be getting toasty, 19, 20, 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, good, and 1. How does that feel?
It sounds like I need a lot of work.
That's okay. I think that's beautiful because then we appreciate it even more. So that is fine. That's fine. We're not in a rush. We're going to take our time. So you should be able to feel the front of your legs burning a little bit. Your glutes are burning a little bit. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to take another step. You ready?
Okay.
So now, keep in mind, we all have an internal dialogue, right? The monkey mind, the ego, the security system. The security system wants comfort. It wants to go underneath the covers. It's like, as soon as I get off this phone, I'm going to go get some chocolate. I'm not doing none of this stuff. I'm going to make myself feel better, right? So the mind will, the conditioned mind will try to talk you out of it. It's burning, it's uncomfortable. The mind will even start saying, I'm a failure, I can't do this and that. Don't listen, the devil is a lie. And it's trying to steal your vitality. I want you to just pay attention, though, to your internal dialogue, right? Trying to talk you out, or even if it's saying discomfort. And so you can breathe through it, and you can work with it. Say, it's uncomfortable, and I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to do this anyway. We're breaking it down to little pieces. It's going to make victory, it's going to be even sweeter, right? So palms press down. Inhale, exhale, press the hips up. Whatever your range of motion is, whatever the highest is for you, because it's helping to open up the front of the body, and then lower down. Exhale up. So this is 2. You can press your hands into the floor. 3. Exhale up. 4. 5. 6, rest if you need to. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's going to burn a little bit. 15, 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, good, and 1, good, and lower down. Whew, how does that feel? You still there?
I said I got a lot of work to do.
So give thanks. Remind yourself talking to say thank you, thank you, thank you. My grandmother, my family's from the Tarian spirit. I didn't know what Tarian was when I was a little girl, but they always had this thing of saying thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, those church mothers, those prayer warriors. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because the mind is usually what sabotages, and it's conditioned. You can't underestimate that. That's why I study who? Junkies. The mind is hijacked. You gotta know that. Okay, so legs up. 90 degrees, so your back is to the wall. So your legs are up, so I have 90 degrees at my knees to my hips, and then my knees to my ankles. Keep your lower back to the floor, palms are down. Right? So you got your legs up, yes?
Yes.
Now you're gonna do a hip hinge, right? You're moving from the hip joint. Your right knee is slowly gonna touch the floor. Keep your back down to the floor, and it comes up. Right back to the tabletop position. Now the left heel is gonna touch down to the floor and come up. Nice with control. Then you can alternate. Right heel touches the floor, comes back up. Left heel touches the floor, comes back up. Right? Ready? Here we go. So this is right heel and left heel. From the hip joint. This is right heel and left heel. Good. This is 3 and 3. 4. 4, you okay?
Yeah.
5, you can feel yourself working? And
Yes.
5. Breathe it out. 6 and 6. 7. 7. 8. 8. 9. 9. 10. Good. And 10. Good, and relax. Woo. You okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, while we're down here, you're just going to take, you know you feel a lot of tightness in your back?
Yes.
Okay. So, happy baby pose, right? We're just going to work with our body. You're going to pick the legs up, and if you're able to, you're going to put your hands on the outside of your feet. You're going to inhale, exhale. Think of pulling your knees down to the outside of your chest, and that's going to allow you to access a big, deep stretch in your lower back. So again, my hands on the outside of my feet.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to just gently, it doesn't have to be a big movement, pull the knees down towards the outside of your chest. And you should start to feel the stretch in your lower back. Right? Can you feel the stretch there?
Yes.
Yes, good. So make sure you're breathing. You don't want to hold your breath. Breathe into your back. Good, and relax. Left leg is going to be extended straight out in front of you. Pick up the right leg and drop that right leg. You can bend it if you want to. Drop it over to your left side. And you're going to feel a big stretch in your back. Yep, your palms are face down on the floor, stretched out away from the body. You feel the stretch there in your back?
I feel something.
Yeah, breathe. So breathe into your stretch. Then pick that leg up and lower down. So now the right leg is extended straight out in front of your body. The right toes are pointed up toward the ceiling. You can pick up the left leg can be bent, and drop it over. The left leg is dropping over to the right side. Ooh. Your arms are stretching out away from the body. Feel the stretch in your back. Breathe into the stretch. Feel the stretch there? You can also take the heel of your backhand, put it in your lower back, and give your lower back a nice massage. Right? So I'm taking the heel of my backhand and putting it in my lower back, give myself a nice massage. Come back to the center. Good, and relax. So Shavasana, right, which is your resting pose in yoga. My legs are stretched right out in front of me. I'm going to allow my feet to spill open to the sides, my palms up facing the ceiling. Just pick your head up for a second and lengthen your neck so you don't want your head tilted. You want your neck nice and long. And you're just going to take a moment to just reset the body. So although this is functional movement, a lot of the different types of movements and practices we do carry over, right? So it's the rest pose, which is actually really nice when you feel stressed when you come into the end of the day. You're just laying flat, your feet are spilling open to the side, your palms are turned up to the ceiling, and you're just going to lay there and you're just going to relax. Try to bring your awareness to your breath, to your inhale, and to your exhale. Take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Maintain your awareness in your breath. Bring your awareness to your toes. Allow your big toes and your pinky toes to soften and relax. Allow the soles of the feet, the front of the feet, and the ankles to soften and relax. Allow your ankles, your calves, your shins, and your knees to melt into the floor. Allow your hips and your lower back to sink into the floor. Allow your stomach muscles to soften and relax. Allow your womb to soften and relax in a safe space. Allow your stomach and your torso to melt into the floor. Allow your chest to expand and soften. Allow your heart to slow down and relax. Allow your fingertips, your palms, and your thumbs to rest into the floor. Allow your wrists, your forearms, your elbows, and upper arms to melt into the floor. Allow your throat to soften. Allow your shoulders to melt into the floor. Allow your mid and upper back to relax. Allow your head to sink deeply into the floor. Allow your ears to relax. Allow your tongue to rest gently in your mouth. Allow your eyes to soften and relax. Allow your eyes to rest gently in the sockets. Allow your brain to relax. Notice the flow of air in and out of the body. Notice if your body feels slightly more open than before you started the movement today. See if you can bring to your mind's eye something that you're grateful for. see if you can bring to your mind's eye something that brings joy and laughter to your face. I invite you today to feed yourself the most beautiful, living, water-rich, vitality-filled fuel, peaceful fuel that demonstrates that it loves your body back. And most of all, I invite you to create a great day on purpose, simply because you said so. When you're ready, you're going to gently roll over to your left side. Bend your knees. Place your hands in between your knees. Take a moment just to rest in fetal position. So you're just over on your side. Your knees are bent. You're placing your hands right in between the knees. You're going to take a moment just to rest there. In our first position, our first primal position on earth, which can put us into deep relaxation. And when you're ready, you're going to place your top hand on the floor. Press yourself up to a seated position. How do you feel?
Okay.
So relaxation, we don't just have to save it for yoga. It's really wonderful to allow your mind to come down and relax. It's good to notice. You can keep your journal nearby you after your movement practice and write down some self-reflection. Do you notice any kind of internal dialogue that comes up for you? Is your mind saying, I'm a failure, or this is hard? Notice your internal dialogue. Take it out of your headspace and put it down on paper, right? Also, you can acknowledge, like, give yourself some acknowledgement for showing up for yourself, because you didn't have to show up for yourself today, but you made a decision, right? It's super important. These are things that people skip over. People are skipping over the mindset. None of us wants to be humbled with what we can't do, right? The ego just wants to hurry up and think, I just want to do this and this and that. So to slow down and see where our body is actually at is humbling, especially as we have to work bit by bit to build back up the strength in the body, to respect what it can do and what it can't do, and to also recognize it takes work. Just like somebody, an athlete that was in the hospital or that had a surgery or injury, that is determined to build their body back up. It takes something, right? So it's wonderful to give ourselves the support that we need. Someone was like, I should be able to do it by myself. It's like humans, support. It's wonderful to gift ourselves with support, to do it in good company, because we can always find support to go out and eat at IHOP. We can find support for a beer or find support for a blunt. But you're usually not going to find that many people, unless you're really looking, that are willing to do this kind of work and the baby steps, right? This is also why we need the consistency, right? So I invite you to bring your journal with you, so you can take a minute, especially after you come out of Shavasana or relaxation. What kind of thoughts came up for you, right? What are you grateful for, like on your journey? This part of the journey is so important, especially if your body starts to change. A lot of times, look, I can't see my body changing. The mindset has to change first. There has to be the willingness to be uncomfortable, to see the judge, to see where the mind is at. We're trying to skip over the mind. AI can't do that. All the pills in the world can't do it. Talking to a machine is not going to do that. It's very confronting to see, as we were having an out-of-body experience, we're so stressed we don't even realize that the body was becoming stiff. And that it's like so subtle, because we're still showing up for work. We still got to pay the bills, right? So this is a wonderful time for self-reflection. It's these little nuances that we're skipping over that make all the difference. They are what I would call leverage activities, right? Leverage activities are good investments, right? They seem like it's little bits, little increments, but they will give you a solid foundation, so you don't have to come back this way again. It is humbling to build your strength up bit by bit, brick by brick. So you also want to bring your calendar with you, because I would check this off on the calendar, right? That I did a movement practice. I showed up for just a clinic, right? A clinic, so we can see where your body is, and we can see where we need to scale the exercise. None of it is right or wrong. There are a million exercises. We want to do the ones that are appropriate for our body and allow the body to grow and to get stronger. Do you have any questions?
Is there going to be a recording of this session?
It should be. I put it on my other camera, so I'm going to test it out to see what it looks like. So you can also reflect back and you can see, and you can also hear. So I put it, this one is private over here, but I have a recording over here. So I'm going to test it out and see if we can hear it really good on the other one.
I just wanted to practice some of the movements.
Oh, definitely. We're going to talk more about it. But this is good. I just want you to know this is good. And then also a meeting today at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is our group coaching. We're going to be coming together. So any kind of questions, anything that comes up with your in your journaling, right? In addition, with the heart rate monitor, we're looking also, we can see everything we've done at a week at a glance, right? Because after each workout, you're taking a screenshot and you're going to put it in our private Discord. So I can see it. I look at it every single day. And also, it's wonderful for you to look at every week what you did. It is super motivating. That's not somebody else's. That's what you did. And it's fine to show up imperfect. Imperfect wins the race. Because if you show up imperfect, you have something to get some feedback on. And you can see where you can grow. It's all opportunities to grow. This is real transformation, right? Everybody wants to speed forward to the end. We can start with enthusiasm, but usually that enthusiasm is momentary. It's once you really have to roll up your sleeves, and when it's cold, and when nobody's doing it with you, that's when you really need to do it. When you think, let me go run off and go shopping, or let me go off and do something else and skip this. This is super duper important. This, and also doing your food prep. So we're going to meet at 2 p.m. today. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, we're going to put it.
I will probably be driving home from work, but I can still get on until I get in.
You're working today?
No, church.
Huh?
I said I'll probably be driving home from church.
Oh, okay, good. Well, the beautiful thing, so you can take advantage of technology, you can still get it in for yourself. So that's beautiful. So even in coming up with the schedule, that's why I like to make things early. Some people complain that it's early, but you have to, what I have found works is paying yourself, now it's out of the way, right? Also, you have a lot of insight to carry into your week of training, right? And some other tools that we can use. All right, fantastic. So I think, again, if you need to take a few more minutes to just journal, or keep your journal with you, or keep it open on the table as different thoughts come to you about your movement practice, your food prep, or different questions, you want to write them down, right? And then 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, we are moving. So, yeah, great job. Excellent. This is what transformation is about. And then also make sure that you get your water in for whatever that size, that 16 ounce or 20 ounces of water, that you get that in first thing, so we can make sure that when urinating, our urine starts to go more clear. All of these different habits, we're going to get these habits in so you can move on to other things, so we're not even thinking about it. Any questions come up at the health food store, any questions about your food, take a picture of it and you put it in the private chat. And no question is a stupid question. Everything is relevant to your transformation.
Okay. You made a list yesterday in Find That Diary?
Yes.
I can't find this. I'm trying to figure out where
it's saved right there. So I'm going to take a screenshot of it from the recommendations for your nutrition, and I'm going to shoot it on over to you because I did. I'm able to access it, so I'll take a screenshot of it and I'll send it right on over to you.
Okay.
You're welcome. Create a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right.